Hi everyone, welcome back to Teenager Therapy. I'm Gael.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Kayla.
Sometimes I feel like mediocre dreams are kind of embarrassing in a way. Like, I don't exactly know how to explain it, but there are times where I think, damn, I see people that are really successful and they have a successful career. They're one of the best at whatever skill they were good at, right? They're one of the best people in the industry, in their little market or whatever. And then I see that they're not like millionaires, or that they're not living in a huge mansion, or they just live like kind of in a regular home, maybe in a modest apartment. And it just makes me think like, damn, why does that feel like not enough? I feel that unless I'm super mega rich and just ultra successful, it's just not enough. Like these dreams aren't big enough.
Yeah. I was talking about it with Kayla that it feels like everybody has to have these really big ambitions in life. And if you have an ambition like, oh, well, I just want to get a house and have a family, it doesn't sound right. It sounds like you should be doing more because everybody is doing more. And especially on TikTok, I think it's like people are putting out these manifestations like, oh, you're gonna become a millionaire, you're gonna become this like top model, whatever. And it's just, we all aspire to be such big things that how much of it is really us,
And not just what people push on to us.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of it is just, I mean, it feels like it started since high school, really. You set these expectations for yourself without meaning to, maybe. And then other people see what you're doing. So then they expect that of you, or even more. Then the cycle just continues like onto college. And it just feels like you can never go back. You just always have to be going forward and forward and forward. And even today I was sort of thinking about this. In one of my classes, some people talk to alumni or whatever, and it's always like, oh, they're the VP of this company, they're the CFO of this company, they're whatever. And I just think, like, does everybody reach those positions after graduating? Like, I know it takes years and stuff, but it's so hard to imagine that there's room for that, because in my head it seems like lots of things are already established. And this is sort of a tangent too, but even money, I think, is there enough money for me? Like, can I get money? Because it feels like it's already being used up. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, like there's not enough to go around to make me a millionaire
there's not
too.
enough to go around. And so I guess it's sort of equivalent with, money and also career and all this. It just seems unattainable sometimes.
That is so weird that the top 1% of careers and goals and wealth is what's advertised the most.
Yeah.
And it's what's expected the most, but only 1% of us can realistically reach that.
Exactly. And even when we're kids, they're always asking, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And it's always the generic groups of doctor, lawyer, teacher. But nobody tells you about project manager. Nobody tells you about like these small miscellaneous jobs that can land you to big things. And I don't know. It's confusing, and I get tired. I am tired.
Yeah, I actually had this experience today in my business class where I was in a group with like 5 other students, and we're going around sharing the industry that we want to go into, and everyone was saying accounting, finance, tech, and I was the only one who was like, I want to go into the entertainment industry. And it just feels like I know that the money and the conventional ideas of success, it all lies within that realm of accounting and finance and tech, but I don't want to do it. It does feel like I'm like kind of missing out on an opportunity there because I don't want to pursue it, if that makes sense. Even though I know I would enjoy it, it's just like that is where I will succeed. Like that is where like that's what people want to do. You know what I mean?
I definitely get what you mean, and I was under that spell once.
I remember accounting major for a
literally,
year.
there's an episode on this when we first like started school, but basically I dropped accounting because again, I just realized, yes, there is safety and security there. I know I will get a job, a good stable job, but at what cost?
At what cost?
At what
Yeah.
cost? But I understand why people do it. It's just really hard to think that some people would go into those industries because they're genuinely passionate about it. Haven't met a lot of those people, but
I just find it hard to choose one career. And I don't think I will ever succumb to the idea of one career in my life. I think I'm going to be multiple things, doing different things always. Because the idea of someone being okay with getting their degree and then working that career for the rest of their lives is so unimaginable to me. I can't imagine being happy. I think after 3, 4, 5 years, I might be totally over it. And to think there's still 40 more years left to work, I can't do it. I literally just can't do it. So that's what I mean when I say I can't understand the thought process of being okay with that. And I know it's completely fair and valid and don't really judge it, but I can't understand it because to me, it's just, what is there more to life than to pursue all your different interests and passions? And I guess the balance of it all is that you're supposed to have a work-life balance. So you work a little bit and then you live life and live your passions. And that's where you find the meaning. Your meaning shouldn't be in work. But to me, it just feels like, I mean, wouldn't it just be better to make a living out of whatever passions you have and not feel like there's this, I guess, work aspect to it? Because everything requires work. Even your hobbies require that. So to me, it just makes more sense that if I'm going to spend so much time working and spending this mental energy, I might as well be spending it towards something that is genuinely enjoyable and I'm passionate about and that isn't so static. I think what scares me about careers is how static they appear. And I know there's promotions and such, but for the most part, they're static. Like if you just do your job and you do it well, you'll kind of just stay an employee for the rest of the year. There's nothing big that's going to happen. There's not really any exponential growth. It's just stability, which is funny because there's a paradox in the fact that stability is so scary yet comforting. So that's what it feels like to me. I like the feeling of knowing it could either fail or go really up. And I don't like the feeling of constant and like that stability, I guess.
So you could walk away from a well-paying job where you enjoy the work, you enjoy the people. It's like a good job. But like you've been working at it for like 6 years and you would walk away from it?
You see, I think I might. If there's nothing left there, I think I totally would, because I just can't. I would feel depressed thinking about where's my life going to be in 20 years and just to think, same job, same thing, no new achievements have happened. It's kind of just, that's it. And that's the thing, like there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole point of this topic is really that's ideal, no? Like you just have people you enjoy working with, you like your job, it pays well, but there's like not much opportunity for growth. And I just think without that opportunity for growth, I kind of wither away and I just would hate life.
It's just your aspirations. It just sounds so idealistic, and it's hard for me to imagine that as a reality where you can jump from passion to passion and still get the bills paid and support your family and whatever. Like I know it's possible.
Oh.
And here's another problem with the statement that people say, like, or not, it's not a problem, but it's something that I struggle with when people are saying anything is possible, is that it diminishes any excuses for yourself. And if it's possible, then nothing stands in your way and you can do it. And that means you have to put in the work to do it. And sometimes I just wish that people were like, no, that's not possible. Like, that's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. And then it'll give me that comfort that, oh, well, then I don't have to try and I don't have to work myself to the bone to get
That's
there.
real.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Like before social media existed and there were like all these ways to become wealthy really fast, and you see these people become like really wealthy like very fast. All you had to do was just get a job and have a family.
Yeah.
And sometimes this might just be me, but I think back to that time like, wow, I would have really liked that. Like I would have really liked the idea of just not having so much pressure to go so far in life. But also, I mean, I'm very appreciative of the fact that I am in this era, but
Yeah, no, I get
Yeah.
you. The pressure to succeed or the pressure to be more, be better, do better is a lot to carry. And I
Mhm.
do wish at times I could be ignorant to it all and be fully content not being special. I think we're all trained to be special and to make ourselves special by our work and our accomplishments and our character. And it does get to me, like, I just want to be average and normal and not worry about anything else and just have a regular life. So I get that, but I know it's not what I would feel content with. And I mean, it feels like it's so weird because I think people that might not be where they want to be in terms of their goals and their work and their success, they're envious of people that have something going for them. And they're like, wow, I really wish I could be like that. I'm tired of this life. I'm tired of basically doing nothing. And I just feel like everyone's so ahead. But then everyone that is ahead and has something going for them is like, now there's so much pressure to do it. So it's like Kayla said, you have to keep taking a step forward, because if you miss a step or if you take a step backwards, then people start being like, oh, what happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not allowed a break in that sense. Like they're like, they died off. Why? Because they chose stability instead of constant growth.
Yeah. I mean, like, even with the special thing, elementary school, like those gate classes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
those fucking gate classes. I wish I was never in them. But
Gate class, for those of you who don't know, it's like an advanced class. For
think
literally-
honors classes, but for elementary
Like
kids.
that's insane. We don't need that.
Yeah. And thinking, anything is possible career wise or whatever, just in general, I think it's possible. I think something that happens to me a lot is I get overwhelmed by the amount of things that I want to do, like hobbies that I want to pursue and work that I want to do, that I have all these options laid out in front of me that I just become paralyzed and then I don't do any of them. And the time that I wasted not doing any of them, I could have been focusing on one. And it's just a hard cycle because, what if I choose to pursue one and it doesn't work out? Or if it does work out, and it's like, I'll only know if I decide to do it. But it's scary. Scary because you don't want to waste time. But regardless, you're doing it,
Yeah. I hate the thought of wasting time too.
Same.
I just can't. I can't handle it. Like I said, I hate the thought of wasting time, and I hate the thought of being static. And I feel like ever since I was 13, I've just always dreaded stalling. Like that's a fear that is constantly in my mind, and I specifically use that word every time that I talk to myself is I don't want to stall. Like I'm really scared of stalling in my life. I got to keep an eye out for myself. I got to keep myself in check to make sure I don't stall, because there's nothing scarier than waking up like in 5 years and realizing like, oh shit, like I got too comfortable. I got too lazy. I got too demotivated. Like I haven't done anything in
That's
5
scary.
years.
That's scary.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like constantly like keeping myself in check. I'm like, what have I done? What did I do this year? What am I going to do next year? Like to think about a year going by where everything's relatively the same. It's so scary to me. It feels like I'm not living. It feels like I'm not living.
Yeah. But also it's just like, what if I did get comfortable? How bad would that get? Like,
What if I don't have a dream job? What if I just want, like, What if I just want to stay at home? Then what? Then what?
Yeah.
You know. But I feel like even, you know, quote unquote, the mediocre dreams, even those are unattainable sometimes. You know, buying a house, even having an apartment to yourself, that's expensive.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's really expensive, and having to maintain that for a year or however like much time, sometimes it's genuinely not possible. So it's, how are we expected to achieve these high dreams when we can't even achieve the smaller ones, you know?
Yeah. And it's just
The size.
it's like a it's like a bad habit that I think a lot of people do, myself included, where you'll see people who aren't pursuing big ambitions, and you kind of are just like, damn, their potential is going to waste. But maybe that's just what they want to do. Because I realize that a lot when I see people from high school who like start families really young, and I'm just like, didn't you have like a dream job that you wanted to pursue and stuff? And you're gonna spend like your 20s trying to raise a family. Like, I just feel like you have so much going for you right now at this age. Like, why would you do that? But then I'm like, maybe that's just what they want. So why am I literally judging, you know?
Yeah, I would say I have a bad habit of that as well. And I think it's more specifically just the people that I'm close with. I
Yeah.
just always want to see them push themselves, because I think a lot of the times I just see them value comfort and, you know, routine especially. And I don't blame them. I really don't. But again, Kyle, how you were saying, like, give it 5 years. Do you want to be in the same place? Because, oh my God, I heard this one quote that has stuck with me. It was on TikTok. But it was basically just like, how you spend your days is how you live your life. And I was like, whoa. That's crazy.
That's
I don't
facts.
I
That's
don't know
literally
why,
facts.
but that shit really changed my perspective on things, because even me, I'll go a day and like I won't do much, and I think to myself, you know, it's just a day. It's just one day. You know, it might happen the next day and I'm just like, you know, it's okay. I needed the rest. But if you keep on going into this cycle, that's how you're spending your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just really put things into perspective of really trying to capture every moment. And okay, but also like, when do you stop? Then
Yeah, that's what's
you know,
so
I'm
scary,
like,
is that
I'm
you
catching
never
myself
stop.
right now. I'm like, wait.
No, because you literally are not supposed to. You literally just never stop. And that, I've talked about this before. It's so overwhelming that sometimes I want everything to stop. I'm
Me
like,
too.
I just want to like pause, end it, just stop it. Like, no more. I'm okay. I'm
Same.
okay with the amount of memories I've lived. 19 years, long time. Let's end it here.
I get that. Because then you don't have to worry about anymore. Like, all that stress is gone.
It's like, I don't even want to live new memories. I'm okay. I've lived
Yeah.
enough. So I hope I don't get severely burnt out. But you know, I love the people that do just take it one day at a time, one step at a time. Like, a lot of college students are just college students, and that's fine. I feel like a lot of people look down on that because of this pressure to be more ambitious, and you have to get internships, and you have to get a job, you have to pursue your passions, hobbies,
Yeah.
friends. But some people just live their lives. They go to their work, they study, they sleep, they eat, and they do it all the next day. And they're not worried about, am I getting ahead? Am I
Yeah.
doing that extra step to land this extra internship? They're like, no, I'm just studying, focusing on passing my classes, and that's it.
Yeah, I just feel that environment is so different at school, especially USC. Just people are always chasing the next thing. They're always
Yeah.
applying to internships, applying to clubs. They're always doing something. And
Or so it seems.
or so it seems, of
Yeah,
course, you
yeah.
know, just how they present themselves. But even when people ask me like, oh, are you in any clubs? And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, honestly, they're like not that, they're not all that anyways. And I'm
No.
like, yeah,
It's
okay.
always that response, like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not in any clubs. And they're like, oh, no, yeah, like, it's
Yeah.
fine. Like, literally, like,
No,
you're fine.
No, literally, they're like, oh my God, you have to pay so much. The interview process is so much. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with that.
but you're doing it. And
yeah,
I'm not,
yeah,
so.
no, literally.
Yeah.
And I totally understand. They're coming from a good
Yeah.
place, but it's just so funny.
Because I'd be given the same response sometimes.
No,
like,
no,
oh,
that
like,
ass, yeah. But it's just so funny that something as simple as clubs can make you feel like, am I not doing enough?
Yeah.
Should I be doing more?
It's all about that balance. Having that
Whatever.
discipline, but also knowing when to
Yeah.
give yourself a break.
For sure.
I think.
And like maybe you're not doing one thing, but you're doing something else.
Mhm.
Like I'm not in clubs, but I'm working on other things. So it's like I just have to learn not to compare myself.
Fall into the
to-
social
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah.
Because
like the
sometimes,
mold.
and then you're just doing
Exactly.
something to do it, not because you want to.
Exactly.
So that's
what
another
I think
thing,
too.
yeah.
Like, why am I wasting my time doing this just so that I'm able to say, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this." Like, what's the point in that?
Yeah.
Only do what makes you happy. Only
It's
do
so
what makes you
cliche.
happy. But it's like
Cliches are so
really-
real.
They are. They really are. I feel like every moment.
Can
we are
anyone afford
cliche.
to though in this economy?
No, literally, you can't.
See, and that's yeah. There's so many barriers like against us and shit.
Ugh. Well, yeah.
Communism is the move.
Let's redistribute the
Karl Marx, I love
wealth.
you. Yeah.
Redistribute it. I
Honestly, yeah, like you get your rations. Everyone
No,
gets
dead
one
ass,
bread a
I'm like,
day.
go-
okay, cool.
yeah.
I'm not in competition.
no
with
one
y'all.
gets two bread. No one wants to make their own bread. We just all get one piece of bread.
One piece of bread, everybody. And that's
One
it.
bread, guys.
Everybody.
One bread, one love.
Yeah. What a nice little world. I think this
I
is
love life.
I wonder if it's just a very American thing to feel this drive, because sometimes I look at other countries and I think there's just a different approach to life. Just the
Oh,
way
yeah.
people don't focus on their careers as much, like in France or in fucking like a lot of those countries where they just appreciate life. They take it slow. It's like work isn't that big of a deal. Like why, like 2-hour lunch. Why are you trying to get back to work so quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I am trying to learn how to slow down a little bit more. Because I think when I get excited about work, I just dive really deep into it and I just don't put a time aside for anything else, which is where I question myself. If work is this enjoyable that it's all I want to do and think about, why shouldn't I do that? But people tell you like you need a balance, you need to take a break, and it's like, what if this is just what I want to do?
I think a lot of people might say that because they're unfamiliar with like what's it called? If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life or something like that. I think that's a really hard concept for people to
But it
grasp.
really is true. I mean, I know it's like work is it in capitalism. It just
Yeah.
doesn't, like when I start projects, it just doesn't. Of course, it's work and it feels like it, but it's something I genuinely want to do. I think it's possible to genuinely want to
Yeah.
work on things. That's fine.
But what if you weren't in the circumstance where you had to? That's another thing. Is maybe that
Oh,
the circumstance that you were in forced you to like it. You know
no,
what I
but
mean?
also I agree with that. And sometimes I think if I won the lottery, would I still be doing this? And that's kind of my litmus test as to if I truly enjoy it. And I've come to the conclusion, if I literally won the lottery, I would still be doing this. I would be doing the exact same thing I'm doing now. Like
No way, really?
fully. I just think I genuinely, it would make me even more excited because it's just my artistic expression. And now what I'm doing now is just me expressing myself artistically. But now if I have unlimited money, I just actually have the money to do it without worrying about the stress of it all. So I think realizing that made me happy. I was like, okay, like I genuinely enjoy this.
I feel like if I had money, I would just travel.
No, I was gonna say like I would spend like my 20s traveling, and then maybe when it's approaching the 30s, I'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, okay, time to
Okay,
start
yeah.
on a
So,
project.
go, like now in your 20s.
Yeah.
in this prime time of your life.
Yeah. I mean, of course I would travel and take vacations, but I wouldn't want to do that the entire year. Maybe I'd take a month.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Like, I'd
babe,
still be
I
coming
would
back
the
and be
Okay,
like,
entire
I agree.
year.
I agree.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think
The
I
whole
would love
year?
that.
Yeah. I
Like,
love
I just think
Hello,
it's so
like,
easy.
breaks.
No,
Uh,
I
just-
think it sounds nice.
you're living life. Like that's what it is. You're literally just living life.
It
You're
sounds nice, but even after a month in France, we were
You were
we were ready to
bored.
pack
You were
the
done.
bags.
Okay, well that was very different. That was very different. circumstances were a little
you would be
iffy.
luxury living.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we wouldn't be staying in cliche. Okay, and I wouldn't have got my phone stolen. But yeah,
Honestly, though, I think that you do get bored with life if you have unlimited money or just a lot of money
Yeah.
very quickly. And so, even though I often wish I had more money to just not have to work and worry about that and have ambitions, I do realize, honestly, I guess there is a lot of nice in knowing I have a meaning, a goal to reach. Because I think once you just have unlimited money, I am scared, and I do think I'd be bored and be like, damn, fuck, well, I did it. Like, now
Do
what?
you think you had no choice to be ambitious because you grew up poor?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, some people are fine with that and they don't care, which is crazy to me.
What do you mean fine with that?
Like, there's a lot of people that do come from underprivileged or low income households and they just don't really have ambition. They're like, I'm okay with this.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
damn, well, good for you. But yeah, I think that's,
They're not worrying.
Yeah.
About this.
they're fine. They're happy. So ultimately, whatever makes you
Mhm.
happy.
that's the fact.
Well, thank you guys for listening.
Fuck capitalism.
Yeah. Are your ambitions too
bread.
big?
One bread for everybody, please. Only one bread, one loaf.
Don't make your own bread. You don't got to do all that. You don't got to make more bread. One loaf. So, thank you so much for listening, and good luck with your dreams, your passions. Don't overwork yourself, or do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, just do what makes you happy. Like, yeah.
If you
Whatever
won the
that
lottery,
is.
what would you be doing?